Okay, here we go. We're going to make kimchi with Jim Chartop fermenter. My name is Jim Sumsion, and I'll just talk you through this process. We're going to start out with a peeled daikon radish. Might take a couple of them here, but I'm just going to slice that up. And once we get enough for the batch, then I will cut those slices into smaller pieces that look sort of like a short French fry. I usually just pile them up and cut like that, and that works. And we'll just kind of let you see what's happening in the bowl. I'm not recording every single cut to save a little bit of time. But once we've got enough radish and they're all cut up, then we'll move on to the Napa cabbage here. Be the next step. So there are 3.5 pounds of radish, or excuse me, 3.5 pounds of radish and Napa, and half of it is the radish and half of it is the Napa. Off of the cabbage, we're going to cut them up into bite-sized chunks. And then once we've got all of that done, we'll move on to the other ingredients. The next one is going to be our ginger. You can cut these into bigger pieces or smaller depending on your personal preference. And I'm going to peel this ginger first. You can see that I'm not skimping on how much I'm using. Peel it, and then I'm going to use my mandolin, my Kyocera mandolin, to slice it into thin slices. And once it's all sliced, I don't weigh this. I just I'm just generous with it. And I use a kitchen knife to chop up those slices into little tiny pieces. I don't grate the ginger because I like to get, when I eat the ginger in the kimchi, I like to get little pieces, and it reminds me of the ginger. I'm going to peel a couple of cloves of garlic, and I'm going to grate the garlic into the kimchi. I like that spread throughout the kimchi and not in chunks. Once I've got those ingredients in, I'm going to add the salt and the kimchi pepper flakes. We're going to put 1 teaspoon of salt for each pound of vegetables. So 3.5 pounds of vegetables, 3.5 teaspoons of salt. So that's 1 tablespoon plus a half teaspoon. It doesn't have to be precise, although I try and make it as precise as possible. The pepper flakes, I'm doing 4 heaping tablespoons of pepper flakes, and then I'm just going to mix it up by hand to distribute the salt. And I'll get a jar, my 2-quart jar, and a canning funnel. I'm using the BottleMate canning funnel there, and just start putting the kimchi into the jar. You can see that when you get to where you need to start packing it in, you can use a small plunge, some kind of a device to pack it, or you can just do it like I'm doing it. You can see the juices coming up into the jar really well. And once I've got it packed in there, I'm going to just take that funnel off, Finish packing it in so that I've got just enough headspace for the overflow cup. Wipe the residue off of the lip of the jar. Put in my overflow cup, moisten the rubber in the lid, both sides of the red rubber ring, put that on there, screw on the lid, add water to the airlock, and there you go. 5 days you'll have a batch of kimchi that you can enjoy, put in the fridge and enjoy. Thanks for watching.